Good evening, everyone. So, we were talking about the statistical terms, and we have already seen some statistical terms of biostatistics, in which we have seen the population, then sample, then what is primary and secondary data, then qualitative and quantitative data, and parameter and statistics. So, let's see the remaining statistical terms. This is the definition of biostatistics: population, then sample, primary data, secondary data, then qualitative and quantitative data, parameter and statistics. So let's begin with the attributes. So attributes are non-measurable characteristics. Attributes are the non-measurable characteristics which cannot be numerically expressed in terms of unit. So these attributes cannot be numerically expressed in terms of a unit. These are qualitative objects. For example, religion, nationality, illiteracy, and many more. So these attributes like religion, nationality, illiteracy cannot be numerically expressed, and they don't have any unit. So these are qualitative objects. So this is about attributes. Then variables are the measurable characteristics which can be numerically expressed in terms of some unit. Okay, so attributes cannot be expressed in terms of unit, and variables can be expressed in terms of unit. So these are quantities which are capable of being measured by quantitative methods directly. Okay, so these are some numerical values which can be measured by quantitative method directly. So we have some examples. So let's see. That is height in inches, centimeter, then weight in kilogram, then pound, and marks in examination. Okay, so these are some numerical quantities, or these are some numerical values that can be measured in numerical form. So these are nothing but the variables. Okay, so this is about the attributes and variables. So the next one is discrete variables. Okay, so now variables are of two types, that is discrete variables and continuous variables. So discrete variables are also called as discontinuous or meristic. So these are the quantities which can be measured in whole integral values. So it does not take fractional value. An example of this is number of books or marks in examination. So in discrete variables, the numerical value does not take any fractional value. So the example, that is number of books or marks in examination. So if any student gets 75 marks out of 100, so he will never get a 75 point mark. So okay, so the students cannot obtain uh, in fractional values, cannot obtain the marks in fractional values. So the number, it should be in integral values. In case of continuous variables, these are quantities which can take any value in specified range. So thus it can take integral and fractional values both. And the example of continuous variable is height or weight. So anyone can have height in integral or in fractional value, and as well as in case of weight. Okay, so this is about discrete and continuous variables. So let's see the next statistical term, that is statistical error. So in statistical terminology, the word error is used in special sense. So error shows the extent to which the observed value of a quantity exceeds the true value. So when we get this terminology, that is error. So error, when we expecting any true value, and when we observe but the observation is different, then then the difference between this true value and observed value is nothing but the error. So this is the statistical error. So statistical error may be classified as biased error or unbiased error. So biased error which arise due to personal prejudices or bias of investigator and informants. So this biased error is arise due to the personal prejudices or bias of investigator and informants. So in unbiased error which enter into statistical inquiry due to chance causes. So these are two types of statistical error. So let's see the next, that is linear and non-linear functions of statistics. So let's see the linear functions of statistics. So linear function is a relation between two variables that produces a straight line when graphed. Okay, so in case of linear functions of statistics, it is nothing but the relation between two variables. So when we when we produce a graph of that variables, it always produces a straight line. Okay, so it always produces a straight line. It is called as linear graph. So in case of non-linear functions of statistics, non-linear functions is a function that does not form a line when graphed. Okay, so it's just opposite of that linear functions of statistics. In linear function, it produces a straight line, while in case of non-linear, it produces a bell shaped or any kind of shape, but do not produce any straight line in case of non-linear graph. So the next statistical term is frequency and its distribution. So frequency is the number of times a data value occur. Okay, so frequency is nothing but the any number which arises multiple times in a population, then it is called as a frequency of that population. Frequency is often represented as letter f. So let's see the example of frequency. If 10 students score 80 in statistics, okay, so if 10 students score 80 in statistics, then the score of 80 has a frequency of 10. Okay, so 10 students getting the score 80, so the number 10 is a frequency of score 80. Okay, so I hope you are getting this point. So let's see the frequency types of frequency distribution. There are many types like ungrouped frequency distribution, then grouped frequency distribution, then cumulative frequency distribution, so and many more. But out of that, we are only going to see the two types, that is ungrouped frequency distribution and grouped frequency distribution. So let us take the example of the height of 10 students in centimeters. Okay, so when we have information in ungrouped form, or we have information in ungrouped form, then we simply calculate the, or then we simply take this ungrouped frequency distribution. So we have the example, that is height of 10 students in centimeters. So 139 centimeter, then 145 centimeter, then 150, 136, 152, 144, and 138. And the number of times this height is occur in a population is written on the frequency table. So the number of students having a 139 centimeter height is 1. So the number 1 is written under the frequency table. So the height 145 centimeter is having two students. So two students having a height of 145 centimeter, then two students having a height of 150 centimeter, then 136 centimeter, 152 centimeter and 144 centimeter height is of one students, and last one, that is two students having a height of 138 centimeters. So this is the simply ungrouped frequency distribution data. Okay, so this is very useful and advantageous, but it is also disadvantageous when we have a huge amount of data. Let's take an example, that is, if we have an 200 students. Okay, if we have to calculate the ungrouped frequency distribution of 200 students, then it's more tedious to draw all these tables and the calculations. So in case of that, we have a second type of frequency distribution, that is grouped frequency distribution. We simply group this information and calculate the frequency and the another calculations. So let's see the group frequency distribution at certain times. To ensure that we are making correct and relevant observations from the data set, we may need to group the data into class interval. Let us make a group frequency data table of the same example above of the height of students. Okay, so we simply makes an class interval, but each class interval having a fixed fixed interval, that is, in case of this example, the class interval is 10. So from 130 to 139, then 140 to 149, and 150 to 159. Okay, so we have we have some numerical values, that is frequency. We have two columns, class interval and frequency, and now we have four students having a height between 130 to 139 centimeter. Okay, so then we have three students having a height of 140 to 149 centimeter, and again three students having a height of 150 to 159 centimeter. Okay, so when we have data or information in a huge amount or huge number, then we can simply calculate it with the help of grouped frequency distribution. Okay, so this is the advantage of this group frequency distribution, but again we have some disadvantages. In case of ungrouped frequency distribution, we are directly getting that which students having a what height of that student. So the exact height of, we are getting the exact height of that student, but in case of grouped frequency distribution, we are losing the information. Let's take example of the first column, that four students having a height of 130 to 139 centimeter, but we but now we don't know that the exact height of that students in that class interval. We are just getting a range of 130 to 139 centimeter, but now we don't know the exact height of that student. So we lost some information here when we did the group frequency and distribution. So these are two types of frequency distribution, that is ungrouped frequency distribution and grouped frequency distribution. So ungrouped frequency distribution has its own advantages and disadvantages, and group frequency distribution also have some advantages and disadvantages. So this is about the statistical terms. I hope you will find this video informative. So I'm going to stop here. So till then, take care.